Hello and welcome to Selenium Webdriver with C Sharp's video series by One Test Solution, and this is part 1. In this session we'll set up Visual Studio for writing the Selenium Webdriver script in C Sharp. So let's flip to Visual Studio. I will go ahead and create a new project. Now in Visual Studio Ultimate version we have three test frameworks. One is Coded UI Test, which is mainly used for functional automation testing. Then other one is unit test project. This framework is mostly utilized by software developers to write a white box test or a unit test. Third one is web performance and load test. This is used by a performance tester to do the performance testing of the application. Now in this series we'll utilize unit test framework to build and run Selenium WebDriver test. So what I will do is I will go ahead and create a new solution. I will call this solution as Selenium Automation. And here I will write as basic test. Basic test. Hit on OK. Now what Visual Studio will do is it will create a unit test class. I will go ahead and rename this as setup, let's say. Okay, it will refactor the code. Okay, now this particular class file is not capable enough to write your Selenium WebDriver test. So what we need to do is we have to add the Selenium WebDriver references. In order to do that, you need to go to Selenium HQ site, and here you will see an option called as downloads. If you come to the bottom of this page, you will find the C# binding. Okay, click on this downloads. It will download all the Selenium bindings which are required to write a Selenium WebDriver test in Visual Studio. Now once you do that, it comes with two different options. One is for .NET 3.5 and other one is .NET 4.0. Now as per your Visual Studio, you need to go ahead and add those references. So what I will do is I will right click to reference, click on add reference and browse to the folder where it is saved. So now this is the folder. Okay, Selenium.NET binding that I have downloaded from Selenium HQ site. So we need to select either of these two. Okay, so I am working on Visual Studio 2013, so I will go ahead and add the bindings for .NET 4.0. Okay, so what we need to do is you need to go and click this, and here you will see all those 4 bindings. Expand this, you have to only add .dlls. Okay, so let's browse to this folder and you will see all these 4 DLLs. Select all and click on add. Now once you do that, you will see here in the references these 4 DLLs will appear. Okay, now your Visual Studio is all ready to write your Selenium test. I will go ahead and rename this test method as setup DLL test, let's say. Each test method is basically going to be your script. Okay, that we will explore later on in the series about the details of these attributes. Now your Visual Studio is all set to write your Selenium test. Okay, to check that, what I will do is I will simply write one small test that will launch the browser to make sure my setup is successfully done. Okay, in order to do that, what I will do is I will go ahead and include namespace openqa.selenium, and I want to launch, let's say, Firefox browser. So I will go ahead and use another namespace using openqa.selenium.firefox. Now here you see it comes with multiple options. You can write a script or run in Chrome, Firefox, IE, Opera. Okay, for now I will use Firefox. Okay, now in order to create an instance of Firefox um, browser, I will use iWebDriver interface, create an object of it, and I will write iWebDriver driver is equals to new Firefox driver. Okay, and then I will write, let's say I have to launch a URL, so I will write this driver dot navigate method dot get URL, and we need to pass the URL that I want to launch. So I will write http colon one test solution.com. Okay, now what it will do is basically it will create a browser instance of Firefox, and it will navigate to onetestsolution.com. I'm not trying to do any testing here. I'm just trying to write a basic test to ensure that all these DLLs are configured successfully in my Visual Studio. In the later series, we'll deep dive into the Selenium core concept and we'll see how to build a test with Selenium WebDriver. In order to run the test, right click on this method, hit on run. Okay, it launched the browser and it is navigating to onetestsolution.com. That means the Selenium DLLs are successfully configured and we are able to run the test. Now this browser window is not getting maximized when the browser is instantiating. In order to get it maximized, what we can do is we can write here driver dot manage dot maximize window dot maximize. Okay, now it will maximize the browser instance. Let's run it. Now you see the browser has been maximized. Okay, so we have seen the default testing frameworks, coded UI, unit test, web performance, and load test. Additionally, we can also integrate NUnit in Visual Studio if we want to utilize NUnit test framework. That again, we will see how to integrate NUnit in Visual Studio. In order to download the Selenium WebDrivers, as we have seen, we need to go to seleniumhq.org downloads, and there we will get two options: .NET 40 and .NET 35. For the previous version, you can use the DLLs of .NET 35, and for the latest version, use .NET 4.0. Now, always remember to download the latest .NET binding if you are working with the latest Firefox. Otherwise, it will not work. Now, next thing what we need to do is we need to add reference to the test project in the Visual Studio. Once you do that, go ahead and include these namespaces, open qa.selenium, and if you want to work on Firefox, use selenium.firefox. And in order to instantiate a new browser instance, we have to create an object of iWebDriver instance. Okay, thank you so much for watching this. Please go ahead and subscribe One Test Solution in YouTube for latest updates and free videos. Thank you.